Hi. Glad you're home.
Glad to be home. Really?
Pixie's glad that... Come on.
No, she's not. She just wants... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, despite my appearance, I am alive.
He's alive.
I don't know. Starting off, I want to say thank you to everyone for your concern, care, support, all of it. It was kind of shocking and overwhelming to see such an outpouring. Not anything I expected, so means a lot to both me and to Julie. She's been taking care of me for the last 5.5 weeks since this started, and having folks like you reach out and be there for her is pretty awesome. So I'm very grateful for our rock hounding community.
Yeah, thank you. It really does mean a lot.
Yeah, so I guess what happened is the question most people want to know. Back at the 2,000 subscriber giveaway, I was cleaning a bunch of rocks out in the garage, and unfortunately I have gotten complacent and neglected some safety precautions and ended up ingesting cow feces infested water. Probably other things in there too. And 2 days after that, that's when the stomach problems got rolling, and diarrhea nonstop, basically. At first I thought maybe I was just contaminated because I have celiac disease, and if any part of wheat, rye, or barley gets mixed in with my food, it can make me ill, but it's never made me that ill. So after 6 days of that and no stopping, Julie took me to the hospital here locally near us, and they gave me a bag of IV fluids and sent me home.
They did do some blood work and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
They did blood work, but no, I think, did I get medicine for Imodium or something? I think they prescribed me
I can't remember.
something like that. Anyways, so came back home and started feeling a little bit okay. And so at this point we were still taking people out on the claims, and
there, he would have like bouts of like 6 days of just horrible,
Yeah, I was gonna
horrible
get into that.
sickness, and then he would be good for like a day or two.
yeah.
Not really great, but
No, like I said, we took a group out,
yeah, not
And-
tied to the toilet.
and I wasn't feeling great, but I was still able to go out and help out and whatnot. But the next day, it was like somebody hit me with a baseball bat and it was game on again. And so 2 weeks after my first trip to the hospital, I got really bad again. Excuse me. And at that point, Julie said, "Back to the hospital with you." And I was in no mood or frame of mind to argue that. So she hauled my carcass over to the same hospital, and this time I got a bag of fluids and a little bit of morphine in the drip there for my stomach pain, which, that was nice, took the pain away. Blood work, a stool sample, and we were released. So went to see my primary care doctor. That was on a Friday. On the following Wednesday, went to see the primary care doctor, and her initial thoughts were putting me on ivermectin, and fully believing of what I had probably acquired through my accidental ingestion. And she wanted a second opinion from a GI doctor and got me in, and so I was able to go talk to a GI, and that was a very strange encounter. Those of you that have seen the videos and know me, I'm 30 pounds underweight right now. I'm 175 pounds. And I've been holding there for the last few days, which is great, and I'll get into that in a minute. But more to the point, GI doctor looks at me as I'm huddled in my shriveled skin and holding my stomach and not feeling well, and tells me I look great and that I need to start introducing solid foods back into the diet. And
Because he'd been on liquids and the brat diet.
Yeah.
Is what we call
Yeah.
bread, rice.
no, bananas, rice,
Yeah, bananas, rice.
applesauce, and toast.
Yeah.
So I was doing that and broths and things like that. So took her advice and decided to eat a regular meal the next day. That settled pretty hard. Well, not at first, but it did. 14 hours later, I vomited it up. Meaning it sat in my stomach for 14 hours.
14 hours.
At that point, Julie said, that's it. We're going to the hospital, but this time we're going to Flagstaff, which is the next closest for us. And so she took me up to Flagstaff. I was admitted into the ER and then into, I guess, was I in ICU or something? I don't know what I was
No,
in.
you weren't in the ICU.
I don't know. They stuck me somewhere. It was pretty cool. I had my own room, had a little yellow warning sign about enteric diseases or something. I mean, everybody had to come in with gowns and
Oh, yeah. Well, after an hour, they took you back there, and then an hour later, they were like, we're admitting you.
yeah.
So they took him back to his own room. Yeah, he had warning signs on his door, and
Just, they didn't know what I had.
Yeah.
And that was Sunday, 8 days ago from today being Monday the 13th. Just trying to keep up with the timeline here. And they took a stool sample. So Monday, a bunch of tests were done, CT scans, things like that. They found that my small intestine was completely inflamed, which is typically a sign of a bacterial infection, but nothing was really done about it at that point. They decided I need an endoscopy. And so at midnight, Monday, they started me on the cleansing routine. And I had to drink that garbage in
8 hours.
8 hours so that I could go to an 11 o'clock colonoscopy. Now granted,
And
I'm of the age for them,
Yes.
but I wasn't really wanting one.
And I told him it's upper, not lower, but
Yeah, so they scoped me. I said something pretty funny apparently upon coming out of anesthesia.
nobody needs
To know what I
Brian
said. I know, but it was pretty funny. Cracked up the doctor and the nursing staff. And when they told me about it, it cracked me up too, because I don't remember saying it. Anyways, so they put me back in my room, and I ordered my dinner later that night. Broth and something, I don't remember. But 2 hours after 8, I threw it up. And they had told me that night that they were going to release me the next morning, being Tuesday morning.
And they took
No,
it.
was it Tuesday or
and
Wednesday
And they
morning?
took your IV out.
Yeah, I took my IV out. So, yeah, that was Tuesday or Monday night into Tuesday morning.
Yeah,
I guess.
Monday night they said they were going to release you on Tuesday.
That's what it was, yeah.
Yeah.
And so Tuesday they finally come in, and I'm like, "Yay!" I threw up 2 hours after 8, and all they did was change out my throw up bag, and here I am. And
He's severely dehydrated. Now, on my end, Monday before I left, I told the night crew, I said, you need to stick an IV back in him because he's throwing up. He also has diarrhea. He's going to be severely dehydrated by morning. He needs fluids. And so they said, okay. But guess what? I came back in the morning. He had no IV, and he was severely dehydrated, spiked a fever.
yeah.
You had thrown up.
And Julie, the pit bull, looked right at my doctor because he said, "Oh, we were going to release you this morning." She says, "The hell you
You're
are."
not.
She goes, "It's in his upper GI. He's been throwing up. He threw up last night. He threw up when he got here." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I told him I'd thrown up food that had been in my stomach for 14 hours." And he goes, "I didn't see that on the report." So he goes, "Let me go confer with the GI." So different GI than the one that told me I looked good. And comes back and says, "Yep, you're getting an endoscopy in the morning." All right, endoscopy it is. So Wednesday morning went in for an endoscopy and finally got some answers, but not all of them. They discovered in my lower stomach multiple ulcers in the part of your stomach that ties into your small intestine called the duodenum, riddled with ulcers.
He's so many ulcers.
And as far as they could see into my small intestine, which is a very short distance, they can't go very far. But
8 inches?
I think it was 6 or 8, something
Yeah.
like that. Not a lot, but for as far as they could see, also filled with ulcers. But no specific reason as to why. And so that was Wednesday morning. They released us Thursday afternoon with some medicine, one to reduce stomach acid, one to coat my stomach to put a protective coating over the ulcers, and an anti-diarrheal, I believe. And so I came home and took those medicines and was still feeling like hell, like somebody dropped a lead balloon into my abdomen.
He was sick. He was still doing everything, throwing up.
I wasn't any better.
He wasn't. He was just in
And
bed,
then,
curled up.
Sunday night, 3 days ago, is when things started to seem like they were turning a corner. Julie had, of course, been, feeding me the foods that I'm supposed to be eating,
Today's Monday.
Yeah. Well,
Three nights ago wasn't Sunday.
3 days ago was Saturday. Saturday, I said.
Oh, Saturday night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Saturday night. So, the other thing she did is she made me drink her special water, as we call it. She drinks the 9.5 pH Essentia waters, because it's good for a lot of things related to neurological stuff. The higher alkaline content water is. And it was like, well, probably isn't going to do me any harm, so why not? And so she had me drinking that starting Saturday morning. And by 7 o'clock or so on Saturday night, it felt like I'd actually crested a hill and was now on the downslope.
Not
Just
saying
beginning.
that it's like miracle water. I don't know what
No.
happened. It could be a fluke.
It could be a fluke. It could be the fact that, last Friday was 5 weeks that I've had this, and maybe by then it's finally done, and now I just have the remnants of what happened. Don't know for sure. But anyways,
Or it's the cycle.
it's cycling again, because that's
what it does.
That's what it does. And so that was pretty much the diagnosis.
And he started kind of not feeling good just a little bit ago.
A couple hours ago.
Started going downhill.
But it seems to have passed.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for that. Where things finally changed beyond that point is my primary care doctor called yesterday, Sunday, which to me is pretty amazing to have your doctor call you on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And she indicated that she'd looked at all the reports and saw everything. She goes, "They did not give you a diagnosis." I said, "No." And she goes, I should have stuck to my instincts. I should have got you the ivermectin when I saw you. She goes, "I'm putting it in order right now." She goes, "Because you still have an infection." She goes, "There's no way your CT scans can look like this and not have something." So, now I'm on ivermectin as of today. And 5 days worth of that should kill whatever's in me. And we will be continuing the long road of recovery. It's crazy how fast your body depletes when something like that's going on. And they're telling me for my stomach it's going to be at least 3 months, maybe even 6 months before that's fully healed. As far as getting my energy and strength back, probably 6 weeks minimum. Could be as long as 3 months. We don't know. So I'm pretty stubborn, so I'm going to shoot for the 6-week mark as long as my body permits me. That's the only challenge I got is little movements wear me out pretty fast. So after this video with you all, I'm going to be wiped out. So, but that's what happened, and that's where we're at. The diagnosis is settled with my primary care of Giardia. So for those of you that think that you can clean your rocks without taking some safety precautions, maybe a face shield, gloves, bleach in the water, maybe Wash your hands a little more frequently before shoving food in your face.
In my defense, I was left unsupervised. That's the shirt he's wearing up today.
Yeah. So that's my only excuse.
It's a very appropriate shirt for him.
I think it's just more the fact that I'm a Neanderthal, and sometimes caveman brain overtakes logical thinking brain.
Yeah.
So, anyways, let it be a lesson to everybody else. Take care of what you're doing, and we're going to put out a video here in a little while, a few weeks or a week or something. I don't know. We'll see. But about how I've changed our cleaning procedures so that we're safer not only at home cleaning our rocks, but when we go out in the field and we're collecting our rocks, because the hazard's out there too. It's not just when you're at home. There's all kinds of things that happen to these rocks.
Yeah.
That animals do.
It's deer. It's even in the water.
Yeah. I mean, you can even get E. coli out of any of that. I mean, it doesn't have to be
H.
Giardia.
pylori.
There's so many different things. So we just want to, spread some awareness and some things that we're going to do differently that, you may or may not want to do as well, but nothing else, be cautious. I didn't think it could happen to me. We all do that.
Well, and the reason why Giardia is so hard to diagnose is because there's it's on a cycle, and you have to catch it right when it's on that cycle. And how you do that is you have to take stool samples multiple times a day for 4 days.
4 days.
And
That didn't happen.
they don't do that, and I don't know why they don't do that. Because
Well, I just don't think they believed that was the cause, even though we told them this is
what happened.
And then I started feeling bad, but
and you're the only one that drank the poo water.
nobody else in the house got it. So, yeah.
So, but I'm glad you're better. Well,
I'm getting
I'm
better.
glad you're better
yes.
right now.
Yes.
I'm really hoping that you stay better.
Yeah. Saturday night, Sunday morning was kind of it was a nice change in the air here for us.
I wasn't crying all the time.
No, those were more tears of happiness. Mine
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Because there's been a lot of tears of frustration, a lot of tears of fear,
Yeah.
even on my end. I'll be honest with you. I, for a little bit there, did not think I was going to survive it. I really didn't. Fortunately, my body is pretty dang strong, and my numbers, looking at the blood work, were pretty good. The second time in the hospital, though, even my doctor said they should have admitted me because my numbers were bad then.
So bad.
But by the time we went back to the second hospital, the last time there in Flagstaff, my blood work, the numbers were good again. The liver was a little high, but
they weren't great.
but they were still strong. I mean, so just an indicator that my systems weren't failing yet,
Yes.
even though it felt like it.
Yes.
Miserable. I do not recommend having diarrhea for 5 weeks.
It's not only that; it's diarrhea, vomiting,
aches,
gas, the
the
pain,
pain. God.
the horrible pain that you get.
The only way I could get through it is I would have to force myself to sleep and sleep through the worst of it.
He slept all day, and it just wore him out. He would just sleep all day.
Yeah. So, anyways, just want to reiterate, thank you so much for all that all of you have done in the way that you've shown your care and support. It's just amazing.
There were so many offers of help, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, and I told Julie, I've never been a person that's ever fit in with any group that I've ever been a part of. Like I've worked with some really good people and we've all gotten along, but I was never, part of the group or, necessarily thought. Well, I was thought well of. I just wasn't part of the group, and the outpouring from all of you. I found my people. I mean, it was just amazing. Folks that I've never met in person, I only know your username or maybe your actual name because you shared an email with us that tells us, you know, who you are and things like that. And just amazing care and concern. So thank you so very much.
And hopefully this is the beginning to his recovery and we can start doing some more stuff.
Yeah, we'll get back on it again. More videos to come. We still have another whole half of the Rock and Road trip
We do.
from this summer that hasn't even come out yet because, well, we just missed a few weeks. That's my fault.
I've been my head has not been in the game. I've been worried about
Well,
this guy.
I'm a little bit time consuming.
You were time consuming. Very
So,
time consuming.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot more stuff to still be coming out. We are going to hold off on any sort of trips to the claims for now because I just don't have the energy to take the people out there. And
I made him walk 1,000 steps today and he just about died.
yeah, and it's just it's very critical to me that I'm out there as well because it's part of the experience of Julie and Brian. It's not just the Julie show or just
And
the
who's
Brian
going to carry
show.
the rocks?
Yeah, and who's going to carry the rocks and the water jug and beat the rocks out of the veins and
Yeah.
all those things that I actually really like to do.
I find him. He's got to get him out.
Yeah,
So.
because that's what I like to do. So I think that's about all I really had.
That's about
So,
that's about it. So I'm now starting to work on another video. I got another one that I just opened up a very awesome gift from Gary. So maybe we'll
Gary
release
Moore, the man, the myth, the
the
lapidarius.
lapidarius. I think we might release that one first, and then we'll release this one. I don't know. We'll see.
Up to you.
All right. Well,
Until next time.
until next time.
Bye.
Bye.